Welcome back to our weekly technical analysis of the three major indexes. Before we get started, just remember we're not financial advisors. Please do your own research before you conduct any trades. All right, let's get started.
All right, let's start with the Dow. Last week, we talked about the possibility of the Dow going into a sideways channel. It looks like that's not what's going on, because we had 5 days in a row of breaching this resistance. It's really just at this point simply a support line. It started here and it went up a bit, and then it bounced down here, went up again, bounced down here, it's twice, went up again, bounced down here, that's 3 times, went up again, bounced down 4 times. The next logical thing appears to be bouncing down. That doesn't mean it's not going to keep going up and up and up. And if it does that, now we don't really have a clear trend anymore. Now we have to wait. I suspect it is going to move back to that support line. The only other thing that I would say could give us an insight into that now is that as it went up, kept going up above this previous high, the volume went down substantially. Look at that. That volume is almost not even registering, versus when it finally decided, hey, yeah, we're going up, the volume was upwards of 3 million, whereas down here it was a third of that. So the market feels like this is a little bit frothy. That's a term that's often used for when the market's getting overextended and it just seems weak that it's going to continue going up that much. But hey, this is a strange market and there's a lot of money being injected into the market. So it could keep going up. But again, I think it's going to trend back towards this support line. All right, let's take a look at Nasdaq and see if that gives us any additional insight into the overall market. We had questions about whether this is going to turn into a sideways trend, and the answer is no. That is not a new resistance level because it broke right on through it, so we can get rid of this. It appears to just be continuing this longer term upwards channel. This lower support, it's not a lower support at all. That was just a breach of this longer term channel that looks like it's going to continue doing this. The reason why I think it might still hit this resistance and then hit this support, look at the volume. The volume is steadily decreasing as it's been going up from this lower resistance. That means, to me, investors are a little wary that it's getting a little frothy up here. I think some people are going to probably take some profits. I would not buy here. If you're going to buy in the next few days, I would wait for confirmation that it's either going to start trending towards this support line, or it's going to trend through this resistance. Now, if it trends up towards resistance and then it actually breaks through, especially on strong volume, and it hasn't even done that. It hasn't done that in many, many months. It hasn't broken through this upper resistance in many, many months. That would be a whole new ballgame all of a sudden. We wouldn't have a new trend, but we'd have like an extremely bullish signal.
Yeah.
Well, let's see what S&P 500 is going to tell us. And S&P 500 is oftentimes the most accurate because it's 500 stocks and it's not in just one industry or sector. I talked about last week how there is somewhat of a trend developing within a potentially much larger trend, which was this lower support. But back in November, this new trend emerged, and it's a pretty strong trend. I mean, it's hitting that line pretty substantially, except for these 2 breaches here. What is clear is that the support starts here. It goes up, it bounces down. That's 1. It goes up, it bounces down. That's 2. It goes up, it bounces down. That's 3. It goes up, it bounces down. That's 4. The next most logical move is back towards support. If it does hit that support, and if it breaches through that support on large volume, I would then expect it to hit this. If it hits that lower support line, still not that much of a correction. It's a 7% correction depending on when it happens and from where it happens. If the S&P 500 continues to go up, let's say it goes up even this high, it's hard to imagine it's going to do that in the next week or a few days, but it could do that. And then it could then move back down here. Now we're talking a 9% change that would be considered in the news sources as a correction, like, and it would send people into a worrying phase of, oh, are we going to crash through this much longer term support and turn into a new bear market? That'd be a 15% correction. That would be headlines in the news. Would I buy right now? I would not buy the S&P 500 right now. I would wait to see if it's going to keep going up. Then if it keeps going up, now we're kind of getting into new territory in terms of maybe a new trend developing. Most likely it's going to do this. And if over the next few days it starts to go down, I would still continue to wait until it gets down to this support line. Then buy. That's probably what I would do.
Again, another one that we just have to wait a little bit more for confirmation. Stay tuned, and next week we will cover these again and let you know whether it's looking like a buy at that point or not. Please hit subscribe. I beg you.
And like us.
And like us.
All right, we'll see you guys next week.